you, Daisy White, for being here. I have to say some more things about this, Minister Lecce. I was talking about education, and he empowered the children and parents, and that now he brings that same passion and dedication to the energy sector, driving meaningful progress and innovation to the energy. The energy is a vital part of our economy, it's everything. So, thank you to the cultural media, as for Parliamentary Assistant for Minister of Multiculturalism and Citizenship. Thank you for being here in Markham, Ethnic Media, for your participation. And I could see that the weekdays, Fridays, the weekdays, all the medias came here. I have to thank you from bottom of my heart for your presence, and also taking our news, not only our government news, it's all the news from the genuine news and views point of view, without filter. I often say there's a lot of dirt in the air. So how you are taking the sincere, genuinely this message to the community with your language. You are doing an amazing job, Ethnic Media. Your work ensures that important news reach every corner of Ontario, and for that I'm so grateful. Today we are hosting this media roundtable in the heart of one of the most ethnically diverse city, Markham City, according to the census. So within my riding, our riding, Markham Thornhill, Markham Union, it's the most ethnically diverse riding. I think this is an appropriate place to
Who's calling you, look?
appropriate place to cause this ethnic media roundtable right here, city of Markham. So, in the few minutes, the minister will inform more about our new energy efficiency program and our Fortress AM CAN program as well. So, valued ethnic media partners, your support is crucial in spreading word about this program. It's a wonderful program. It's a history of Ontario. I'm not going to take away the Minister Thunder, and he's going to talk about this energy efficient program, what we are going to talk about today. Ensuring the energy program is ensuring that every community, regardless of their language and background, knows about the opportunity available to them. That's what ethnic media has played that here. So your connection to Ontario diverse community, to help bridge the gap between the government initiative and the people they are meant to serve. We are continuing on your partnership with the ethnic media and cultural media. Make sure that no one is left behind when it comes to information. So as we move forward together, I'm proud of the step we are taking to make Ontario a more affordable and prosperous province in Canada. So thank you for your time, for continuing work and supporting our community, and for being here today. Now at this time, I'd like to pass it to my good friend and colleague, MP Daisy White, for Richmond Hill, and Parliamentary Assistant to Minister for Seniors and Accessibility. Thank you, Daisy White. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Minister MPP Kenneth. You will soon be the minister, right? All of us will work very hard for Ontario. First of all, it is an honor to be here with all of you, and thank you for Shannon Whittaker for pulling this together, having this special media roundtable. But most of all, thank you all to our media friends of different culture. We are really happy to have this great announcement. This is an important announcement for us. As we all know, we have been working hard to make sure, and especially our Premier and our Minister has been working very hard to make sure that our electricity demand is really covered. I'm sure we all still remember years ago we have time that is all dark. We're not going to have that again, because we're already taking that leadership to know that by 2050 we will have 75% more energy that we need. So which is why we plan ahead of time. We have this leadership, and I'm so thankful that we're planning it right now, not close to the time where we have a problem. And not only are we doing a lot of work in nuclear energy, which the Premier is going to talk, the Minister is going to talk about. We are also doing a lot of work in getting new location, having new sites for energy, but more importantly, we're having a good special program that will also benefit our residents and all Ontarians. So we're working together to make sure that we preserve this energy. We're going to introduce some more important initiatives that will have a lasting positive impact, especially, as I say, to our residents and to our communities. These initiatives today our minister will focus on will be the energy efficient program and the Wesleyville nuclear site and the phosphorus can. And we are going to talk a lot more about this energy savings program, efficiency program. As your representative in Richmond Hill, I understand the importance of these efforts. If energy efficiency and sustainability growth are not only about reducing cost, it is sustaining our future needs, as I mentioned earlier, but it's also about securing healthier environment and creating lasting opportunities for our communities. I'm thrilled to introduce our minister, Minster Stephen Lecce, who is working very hard, and we have a lot of good news from him every day from in TV and in front of all the communities. So we're working towards that goal. I will not hold you up from allowing our minister to tell you all the details about all these programs that he is offering to all Ontarians. Minister, thank you very much for working very hard. And to you, please tell us all the good news.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. It's wonderful and an honor to be with you. Daisy referred to Logan as the minister, me as the premier. So Daisy, you're the prime minister.
Thank you. We'll get it there.
We are a strong team. I have a tremendous amount of respect for Logan Kenapathy and Daisy Way, both of whom are strong, principled fighters for common sense and for the values of our family and our country. And so thank you both for being wonderful friends and mentors to me. And most importantly, thank you for joining us today from across the ethnocultural communities of Canada. We are, in a very challenged time in our country, and our premier has arisen as the national leader we need to fight for Canada, fight for our jobs, fight for the prosperity of our province and country. Taking a unified approach, a Team Canada approach, where we stand together in the defense of our economy against what can only be described as one of the most existential threats to our economy with this 25% tariff that is being potentially levied against Canada by President Trump. And I am proud of our premier. And what he has been made clear is that we will respond in kind to defend our workers and to defend our families. We cannot allow anyone in the world to impose economic hardship on our people without responding with a strong, principled defense of our families and our economy. And so we are, and we have been for several weeks, been preparing for this potential attack on our economy and our workers. And the premier wants us to assure you that we will stand up for our economy and we will stand up for our workers. And we will provide the support for Canadian and Ontario businesses that may be hurt because of these tariffs. And that will require a mandate for the people of Canada and people of Ontario when we're talking about potentially spending tens of billions of dollars. Our premier has demonstrated to you all through the pandemic that he stands alone as the national and provincial leader that has the plan and the vision to keep our economy strong, to keep taxes low, and to keep our streets safe. And, the people of Ontario have a choice. One day they will be able to make a choice between parties that advocate for higher taxes, that want to quadruple the carbon tax, that want to weaken our laws and allow chaos on our streets with injection sites located near schools, with violent crime on the rise. We, as progressive conservatives, and frankly, as taxpayers and proud Canadians, we demand better for our children. And part of that is about thinking about tomorrow and building a better country, a better province for our children too. And so, while I started with a bit of challenges on the horizon, I want to give you some good news too, because within the darkness there is light. There's a lot of good that's happening. And Daisy, Logan, and I are proud to be unveiling what can only be described as the country's largest energy conservation initiative ever. $10.9 billion of investment going directly into your pockets. Many of you will remember in the 08-09, the Great Recession that took place, Stephen Harper, Prime Minister Harper, and Minister of Finance Jim Flaherty, they both built and unveiled the home renovation tax credit, the home renovation program, which was a highly effective program that put money back into the pockets of our families and our homeowners as they rebuild their homes. And so what we've done is we've modeled a program similar, $10.9 billion. It's going to save our economy over $12 billion of energy we now know do not need to generate because we're going to be conserving it. It has the equivalent of removing 3 million homes from the electricity grid because it is so significant in scope. 12 years of a horizon. The former Liberals were putting in about $300 million for 4-year cycles. We're doing $900 million over every year for the next 12 years of money in your pockets that we pay for up to 30% of the cost to update and renovate and create greater energy efficiency in your home. So we're going to give you up to 30% upfront for new windows and new doors, for a heat pump, for new insulation, for things that can include smart thermostats and even a rooftop solar. You want to put solar on your roof of your home, on your farm, on your business, we're now going to give you 30% of the country and the battery to store the power. We are revolutionizing and reimagining energy, putting you in the driver's seat, the people of Ontario, to be a part of the solution, to reduce emissions, but more importantly, to reduce your energy bills, because the Liberals want to increase your bills. The carbon tax adds 25% to electricity bills and energy bills in the province. And I'm proud that the Premier cut the gas tax by 10 cents. I'm proud that our Premier is fighting the carbon tax. And I'm proud that Daisy, Logan, and I today are unveiling what it can only be, what is the largest energy conservation program in the history of Ontario, putting $10.9 billion into your pockets where it belongs. And this is part of a greater vision about making life more affordable. After we cut the gas tax by 10 cents a liter, we made clear to families that we're going to be on their side. Today, a $200 check is being put into the mails to every Ontarian man, woman, and child to a reminder that it is a difficult time to balance one's budget in their homes in this economy. And our Premier is compassionate, he is realistic, he understands that hardship, and that's why he stepped up with a multi-billion-dollar program to put money back into the pockets of Ontarians. So we're going to be there for Ontario and for our country. We're going to never, ever waver for defending our country, being proud of our flag, and celebrating the good that we're doing in Ontario, because Ontario is unique in the world. We're building large-scale nuclear development, as Daisy mentioned, on time and on budget. We're the only jurisdiction in the world building large-scale nuclear on time and on budget. And just days ago, I was proud to stand in Durham and Port Hope with Minister David Piccini and Minister Todd McCarthy, where we announced that we'll be moving forward with the largest, newest nuclear generator in the country. 10,000 megawatts of clean, non-emitting power, enough power for 10 million homes. It's going to add $235 billion to our GDP and create 10,500 net new good-paying jobs. So we're busy. We are working around the clock, and we're standing up for affordability. And I just want to say thank you to Daisy, thank you to Logan, and frankly, thank you to the Premier and the people of Ontario for being united in this difficulty. We will get through this. And I know the energy conservation program, I know the carbon tax opposition, and the $200 checks, all of this is going to help make life more affordable. And that's what our Premier, that's what our party and our government you can count on. So with that, thank you, and I'll turn it over to Shannon.
Okay, we will start with questions. If you could line up behind me. If you can introduce yourself and your outlet. It'll be one question, one follow-up. First question.
Rami Botos, Oxygen Media. Thank you very much, Minister and please for this kind of media meetings, and we rely on you on the regulations of Donald Trump. Actually, Premier Ford said that we might lose hundreds of thousands of jobs because of this 25 tariffs. So what is the role of Ontario Energy as a strong negotiation card in the hands of the Canadian politicians? How this will affect this decision and how it will be a good impact for Canada?
Our strong preference is that the federal government fulfills their duties and is able to dissuade President Trump to impose this tariff on their number one trading partner and friend and Democratic ally. If the federal government has failed to do that, and it would appear that these tariffs are coming, then the Premier and the Premiers of Canada have said that all options are on the table to respond with force and speed and strength, and to negotiate from a position of strength. Well, the President, Trump, will say he doesn't need Canada. That may be a good tweet, but the truth is, 1.5 million Americans, their lights are on because of Ontario. The military hardware being built in the US depends on access to our critical minerals. And look, the US doesn't have a domestic supply. We do, and China does. And so the choice is, who are our American friends going to stand with? They can stand with their Democratic friend or a nation for which that obviously doesn't share their values or their interests. So our Premier has been very clear that we need to continue to take our message to the US to make sure they understand it is in their interest to work with Ontario. 9 million Americans today woke up because of the trade relationship with Ontario alone. So we're going to make that message known. If they impose a tariff, that's going to lead to an increase, $1 increase per gallon of gas. Everyone loses. Americans will lose. Canadians will lose. And in a trade war, no one wins. So my hope is common sense will prevail. If it doesn't, we will be prepared to respond and to defend our workers and to support our families through that hardship. And I personally will be in Washington on Sunday and on Monday with Minister Vic Fedeli to represent Ontario at the inauguration. And we plan to work around the clock to make our message known that we are stronger together and that our economies, our national security, our energy are all so interconnected. And so let's build a fortress AMCAN, this idea of a continental approach to energy integration. Let's not move apart. Let's further integrate for the benefit of our families, our economies, and our workers.
Follow-up questions. Are there any thoughts in case of the insistence of President Trump to impose the tariff to put another tariffs on the energy or the power supply to USA?
That all options are on the table, and the Premier has said we really should not rule anything out. The first thing we need to do is assess what the President does and then work from there. If he imposes a 25% tariff on everything indiscriminately, that will have, as the Premier said, could have the impact of hundreds of thousands of job losses in Ontario and obviously an economic impact to America. So we want to get too ahead of ourselves, and we want to just assure Ontarians we're working around the clock, putting pressure on the US, on decision makers. We've had the largest ad campaign in the US in Ontario history. Over 400 million impressions of Americans have seen our ads in airports, online. The Premier made sure that there is a large online ad program right around Mar-a-Lago. So whenever the President is at his house, he's going to see the ads on his phone. I'm not kidding. I'm not even being, I'm honest. We are literally targeting that level of sophistication to target the decision makers and let them know our economies, our national security are better together. Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, Minister Lecce and MPP Logan and Daisy. This is Lane from Yes My Radio. The question I want to ask, the gentleman already asked, so I switch to another question. My question is, according to the new renovation energy plan, if the resident, the plan will start